yesterday you were one of the early signers on the ATT. However, you are promising the opposition in Syria, whether implicitly or explicitly, to further weaponize the conflict there by sending arms from Britain to the Syrian opposition. How can you reconcile both positions here?
Well, I don't think you should confuse the two things. I mean, we are being sponsors of an arms trade treaty for more than 10 years now, and we are delighted that 67 countries signed on the first available day when the arms trade treaty was available for signature. We are going to start the ratification procedures very quickly, and we hope to be able to complete them even by the end of this year. And we certainly hope that the treaty will come into force as soon as possible. And it's quite likely that we will treat the treaty as though it was already in force even before it comes into force. So there is no question of our doing anything which would cut across our obligations under the Arms Trade Treaty. Now, the decision that was taken by the European Union was to lift the arms embargo on the opposition, but no decision has been taken by my government, or as far as I know by any other European government, whether or not to supply arms to one group or another. But it is quite clear that the opposition are under massive pressure. They don't have the means to defend themselves, and the responsibility for the carnage in Syria lies very firmly with the Syrian regime. And in all this discussion of the Syrian crisis, we must not lose sight of the fact that what started as peaceful protests 2 years ago only became more violent as a result of the brutal repression by the Syrian regime and its refusal to engage in any form of political dialogue and transition that the Syrian people were calling for. So I don't see any inconsistency between the two things.
You talk about the opposition one group, because there are many oppositions, including many foreigners, tens of thousands of foreigners out there fighting on the Syrian soil.
Well, absolutely. But as I say, no decision has been taken by the British government on whether and how or when to supply weapons to anyone in Syria.
Edie?
Mr. Ambassador, President Putin announced today that Russia has not yet sent S-300 anti-aircraft missiles to Syria. Is this something you welcome, and would you have a message to him about when perhaps they should be sent?
Well, we would hope that they would not be sent at all, but our understanding is that he had said that they would be delivered. Maybe they have not yet been delivered, but we would certainly urge Russia not to supply these weapons to the Syrian regime.